I think I already, yeah, you've seen that. Okay, so I did want to make it crystal clear that, you know, throughout this workshop, we're going to go over recognizing your potential, overcoming life challenges, and fulfilling your dreams. But I am not an expert in yoga. I am only lending my personal experience and my gained tools through training and support, but you are all experts in your own life. Only you know how to move forward authentically in your own life. Okay, so I also want to encourage you to take what you like and leave the rest. All right, so what we're going to cover today, I feel like maybe I should stand so I can see a little bit. We are going to take a deep dive into what a fulfilling life means to you personally, 3 roadblocks to living a life that lights you up, and 3 keys to cultivating a life that lights you up. Again, these are my takes. They're not the take, they're just my takes. We will have Q&A at the end of the workshop, but feel free to ask questions as they come up for you. And you all have a workbook. Hopefully the Zoomers also have a workbook. If you have a piece of paper and a pen, that works too. You don't have to fill out anything. You also don't have to share. Do what you feel comfortable with. And at the end of the workbook, there's a space for additional notes if you want to write something. Stand out to you. All right, I don't know about you, but I like to begin my coaching sessions with a little grounding. It helps me get grounded and centered. And a lot of you, I know, dropped off kids today. You're in the middle of the hustle. So I would love to take a few deep breaths with you. We're just going to be breathing in through our nose and out through our mouth, if that feels comfortable for you. On the in-breath, I encourage you to just stay centered in this space. And on the exhale, just leaving behind the to-do list, the chatter, all of the things. If you feel comfortable, I invite you to close your eyes. And we're just going to take a deep breath in and sigh it out. Another deep breath in and release that to-do list. And then one more grounding deep breath in and exhale. Right now I feel like a needle, so good. And feel free to return to the room or the Zoom room when you feel comfortable. Okay, so I would love to go around the room and the Zoom room, and if anyone feels comfortable sharing, just sharing your first name and why you're here.
Okay, I'll start. Well, I'm Lois, and I'm in Zonta, and I love to come to Lifeforward, but especially today I'm in Kelly, and I'm excited to hear her presentation. And particularly thank you for saying that you used to be afraid of this, because now you're this self-assured, incredible person. So I'm excited to sit here with you today.
Thank you. I'm still afraid, by the way. Anyone else? Don't feel okay.
Hi, my name is Juliana, and I'm here because I read the brochure and I was interested, and now that I'm starting, or that we're starting, I feel excited. I want to learn more about whatever can improve my life.
Thank you. It's nice to meet you, Juliana.
I'm Kate Washington, and I'm here because the topic is a really good topic for me. So I was one that was afraid to speak in public, and now I am performing supervisor for the City of LA, and I love speaking in front of groups now. So this is really challenging. I love the way the groups and what Zonta does and all of that they give us.
It's incredible. Thank you for sharing, Callie. Did anyone on Zoom? We're good? Okay. All right, so let's dive in. All right, so on your workbook and on page 3, feel free to open up to that page. There's the question, what does a fulfilling life mean to you personally? I would love for you to answer there's a few prompts surrounding that question. What does this life feel like for you? So less on the logistics, like I have a house on the beach, or I, have 300K, more on how you feel living that fulfilled life. The second is, what does it look like? That's more logistical. And the third question is, what's different? So again, you'll answer, what does this feel like for you? What does it look like for you? And what's different? And I'll just give you guys a few minutes to write down whatever comes to you. And then if you want to share, you can share. I'll play some music so that it's not so quiet. but just you have 30 seconds or so. Right, does anyone want to share? It's okay, you don't have to, nobody has to.
Or is it in exhaustion? I mean, this would, we can do one then.
We have someone right here.
That's one right here. What does a fulfilling life feel like for you? Having a peaceful and healthy life and seeing my son grow as a good person.
Thank you for sharing.
Anybody else? I put down, happy, healthy, feeling loved, filled with family and friends.
Thank you for sharing.
Hello. Fulfilling for me is the ability to be able to do things that I like and having support from friends and family and be able to have the confidence and be able to go to someone. Anybody else? I put down having a life that's filled with joy and passion for living. I was just gonna comment on.
Oh, yeah, absolutely.
I'm Janet, but my name is Jan. Fulfilling life for me would be with more peace in life. Well, and continue to learn something new each day to educate myself and finding love again. Like, for that. And not every day I don't like searching out, but I'm just looking for it. Because I mean, I've been single around for about 5 years. I don't think this is really working.
Oh, yeah, everyone's amplifying.
But I would like to be able to share all my blessings with someone as well. Admire. What does it look like? It looks like living in a small house near the coast is where I really want to live. And I've been pursuing that, looking into that. And the difference between what I want and how I'd like to feel is that my home life right now is not real good. And I would like it to be better for me. And I'm interested in what you have to say. Being a deaf doula, it seems as though even with COVID and everything, we're getting older. And surrounded by a lot of aging friends and family and losing all of that. To be able to be more comforting maybe to someone who needs that type of help.
I'd love to delve into that, possibly the Q&A, dive in a little bit. Did anyone on the scene?
Anybody else? Well, I would just like to say that fulfilling life is doing something that gives me a good feeling, and Lifeforward workshops leave me with a good feeling. It's amazing how much all of the speakers have been able to make an impact on people's lives. Well, thank you.
Thank you. So I got so much of from all of your shares. They're incredibly inspiring. And while there are a lot of through lines of, really finding peace and I were challenging myself, doing something new. There's also a lot that's different and individualized. I'm not a techie. Okay, so I love this exercise. I like jumping right into the written work and sharing. Because what I realized, and what some of you may have realized, is that a fulfilling life means something different to each of us. Which, circles back to the fact that I don't have the answers on how you must live a life that fulfills you. But you do. You already have them. You shared them right now. I personally define living a fulfilling life as a life where there are three major components that I'm ticking off the boxes, so to speak. The first one is that there's room for me in it. I'm a mom of two young children. I am a death doula. I'm a coach. I have to have room for me in my life to feel fulfilled. The second is that I'm infusing things into my daily life that bring me joy, which was brought up a lot in this room. And not only that, but every day I'm challenging myself to explore what I'm curious about, stretch beyond my edges. This is certainly an example of that. And then last but not least, I'm actively participating in my legacy. So I see every day that I'm here as a day to make my mark on the world, whether that's with my children, my partner, my community, wherever it is. Every day for me needs to feel like an opportunity to leave something worthwhile. I already have that. Okay, so when we're feeling, does it cause too much disruption when I stand up and sit? No. I'm getting hot too. And I don't know how that's gonna help, but it feels like it. So when we're feeling unfulfilled, we can feel, it's again, highly individualized, like everything is falling apart. I call it the hamster wheel of hell. I'm in a church, so I probably shouldn't have done that. I'm staring at a cross. But where every moment is spoken for, from the minute you wake up to the minute you lay your head on your pillow. And it's just rinse and repeat every day. Resentment abounds. So feeling resentment towards your partner, your children, your colleagues, your friends, resentment towards yourself. Second guessing whether you're doing it all right and feeling like you're always failing someone or something. And last, but certainly not least, the loss of individuality and disconnection. We no longer know who we are at our core. And if someone were to ask us what we want or need, we don't readily have an answer, other than for some of us moms, sleep. Okay, but what beyond sleep? What else do you want and need beyond sleep? When we are living a life that lights us up, we're able to be fully present for all the delicious moments that life has to offer. And presence came up a lot in this room. And there's a caveat there, most of the time, not 100% of the time. We feel like a whole human being and not all of the many roles we fill and shoes we fill. We're not just a career woman, a mom, a partner, X, Y, and Z. We're a whole human. We have a better connection with ourselves, our partners, our children, our community. And we can approach chaos from a more grounded and centered space. So when what hits the fan, it doesn't take us out with it. We're able to stand firm with our boundaries and in ourselves and make decisions that feel authentic to us. We feel challenged and inspired, and our self-esteem gets a major boost. So just a little bit about me, and Phyllis covered this a little bit in the beginning. I worked in production finance for over a decade, and I was really good at it. And I don't say that egotistically because I didn't love it. I hated it, but I was really good at it. And when I had my children, we moved to Santa Clarita and work was in, Studio City. I almost said Santa Monica, that would have been way worse. So I had a newborn and a toddler driving an hour and a half to work, an hour and a half home with at least one of the babies in the car crying. They were never happy, to be in the car. And it was literally get up, get them ready, go do the job I don't love, bring them home, put them to bed. I was resentful that I had to do these things. I was exhausted. I was showing up for my kids as possibly the worst version of myself. And then I would tell myself, well, on the weekends, I'll do it all better. You know, I'll really show up as a mom. I'll be a better wife. I'll be a better friend. But that never happened. I was exhausted. And so they really just got an exhausted mom all of this. When the pandemic happened, we then had to quarantine at home. And I became not only a career woman and a mom, but I was also the director of activities for my children. I was their teacher, and I was struggling to work a 40-hour week job while I had two very young children home with me that still needed my attention. But the expectation was I need to show up to my job 100%, which is physically impossible. And something broke. It snapped, and there was no going back. And I went to this virtual sound healing event, which if you had talked to me 4 years ago, I would have laughed in your face because that sounded so hokey and so granola to me. I would never do anything like that, but it really called to me. So I went to this event, and there was a coach co-facilitating the event. And I was so drawn to her. She was so present in her life. She seemed to be so full of ease. And I really wanted what she had. I knew that it would be an investment to work with her, and as a mom and a woman in production finance, I didn't feel that that was worth the money. I didn't believe in life coaching. I thought, again, it was pretty hokey, but I was desperate. And so I started working with her, and it was the best gift ever. It led to the life I have now. It led to me becoming a death doula. It led to me becoming a coach, and it led to me living the life that lights me up inside here. So that's it. I don't want to go too far into my story. All right, so the three major roadblocks to living a fulfilling life. Again, my take on it. This is what I see most often with clients. The first one is postponing our happiness. So there's that narrative that I can't have that beach house until my kids leave the nest. I can't do X, Y, and Z until my kids are independent, until I've retired, until I have this much saved. I don't get to take up space in my life until I'm no longer responsible in all these other roles in my life. So another one is, on that note, sorry. We don't have to earn happiness and fulfillment. The kids don't have to be out in the nest. They don't have to be more independent. We don't have to have retired. We don't have to have a certain amount in our bank account in order to start doing things that fill our cup. You deserve to live your life right now. And I think a lot of my work in death work has just affirmed that so much more so, because you really truly don't know when your last day is going to be. So postponing your happiness, well, when do you get it? For those of us that are parents, taking the time to infuse that joy in our lives and do the things that stretch and challenge us, it gives our children permission to do the same. So I always put my self-care and self-fulfillment on the back burner because I had this career and I thought that taking any time for myself would make me a bad mom. My kids and I have such a better connection now that they see me happy and fulfilled and a whole human being. My son tells everyone, my oldest son, that I'm So he like merged the two lines of work together, and then he says she helps people die, so that's a little scary for. But he might not grasp exactly what his mom does, but he's really proud of it. He actually knows now, because my clients, there's confidentiality, I don't share their life stories with my children, but they know their names. And so I had a client that passed away a few weeks ago, and my son said, "I'm really sorry that Dale's not here anymore, Mommy. He sounded like such a special man." And they're involved. They're proud, which makes me feel really good about myself as well. Okay. Oh, and yes, there's no gold medal for completely sacrificing our happiness and identity for those that we love.
Can I just comment?
Uh-huh.
Would you say that your children, they feel your happiness and so they're proud of their happiness? And now they're proud because they feel your happiness and they're happy that the family is happy because mom's happy. They always say happy life, right?
Yeah, they need to make a rhyme with kids. I would say, I don't know exactly what William is my oldest son. I don't know his exact perspective, but I do know that he's very perceptive to my energy and how I kind of show up every day. And I've noticed marked improvements since I chose to follow this path. And it seems to excite him. And he talks more about what he wants to do when he grows up, and like sky's the limit. Yeah, I can feel it. I get very lit up when I talk about this stuff. All right, so the second barrier is hustle culture, that do until you die. You're not a good person unless you're constantly moving. Our schedules are jam-packed, leaving very little room for living. And then there's the social programming space, and especially for women, it really sets us up to fail. Whether you're a mom or not, society believes that you need to be able to do it all. You need to balance it all, because women can. We can do all of the things all of the time, and that is our job. And then there's the social media lens. So there's popping on to Facebook and Instagram and TikTok and seeing so many other women doing it so much better. And I try to remind my clients and myself all the time that what I am seeing on social media is curated. It's intentional. So, I have a social media presence, and a very small one. But I try to keep it real on social media and let people know the wonders and struggles of being a businesswoman, of being a mom, of being a whole human being. But I'm only showing you what I choose to show you. So no matter how real I'm keeping it, you're not getting the whole picture. You're getting this very curated picture of me and of anyone. And then the last, again, but certainly not least, is the complete disconnect from our bodies, our minds, and soul's purpose. So when we spend so much time doing all the things and fulfilling all of our responsibilities, we don't have the time to connect with ourselves. We don't take the time to get quiet and listen to the voice within. We don't take the time to get quiet and listen to what our body is telling us. Bodies are often telling us we're exhausted, we've had it, a boundary is being pushed, but we don't have time to listen to that. Because then maybe we'll fall apart. And God forbid we fall apart. We are exhausted, overwhelmed, depleted, and that's a very difficult place to make grounded decisions. It becomes almost easier to be reactive to life and let us hit us square in the jaw than make decisions, be proactive in our lives. And connecting with our bodies and minds and souls seems like it's a luxury. That's definitely the narrative out there, that just like self-care, pouring into yourself, taking that time, even if it's just a few minutes, is selfish. And you can't be selfish. So, I'm gonna go and get into our second activity. I would like to know, I would like 1 to 2 examples of how each barrier is affecting your overall fulfillment today. And again, those barriers are postponing happiness, hustle culture, and complete disconnect. This should be on page 4 of your workbook. And then just one more time, I want to know how postponing happiness, hustle culture, or complete disconnect is affecting your fulfillment today. Play just a little music again.
What's an example of postponing happiness?
Well, I mean, a really poignant example for me was I can't leave this career because I don't have enough saved, because I have a family to support. So I need to stay, you know, or I need to stay in that marriage, or I need to wait to do, you know, whatever it is that I can't take that dance class. Can't take that course, you know, I don't have the time. Does that answer it a little bit? No.
The 3? Or just in the first question right now?
All 3 of you, if you want to, again, only do as much as you're comfortable with, but yeah, that would be great. You need to come around and manual. I have is it?
Yeah.
I'm not,
Not now.
really?
Better.
That's up there.
You're up there.
That's probably. The do until you die. Gotta hustle every minute, but you have to be, yeah. And how is it affecting your fulfillment? How is it affecting you finding that peace, finding that love? For making mistakes. To find them into for the cup. You find it the way that you would find it. Thank you. Feeling disconnected from who you are as a human being, your body, your mind, your purpose, just feeling just like, who am I? What do I want? What do I need?
What is hustle culture?
Hustle culture is that do. Every moment just spoken for. You gotta work for it. You gotta work for your happiness. Once you've achieved it, then you can have a break. Once you've done all the things, then you can find your. All right, we'll give it one more minute. And please feel free to take these are yours. So if you want to expand on them, feel free to do so when you get home too. All right. All right. Does anyone want to share before we go to break and have some refreshments? Yes.
I'll get 100% about this workshop.
Yes, I love it. Thank you so much.
So for postponing happiness, I need to stay in that job. It's a good job right now, it pays well, so. And I can't start my master's degree now, so I have to use that job to actually fulfill whatever I need, you know? And in the second part about the hustle culture, sometimes I feel like I'm even tired to plan a better future, you know, like I can't actually think straight. Because I don't feel like I have the time and my mind is working so fast. You know, I know I have to breathe, but sometimes I just can't focus.
Oh, yeah. It's sometimes hard to remember just to breathe.
You did say that.
Yeah.
Oh. And the last one, well, I try to find time for me, but sometimes I feel like I'm stealing time from my 4-year-old.
I feel that. Thank you so much for sharing so vulnerably. Is it Julia or Julia?
Is it Julian?
Juliana.
I always go for Julie. Here,
Well, I can call you by your actual name. Thank you, Juliana.
So is there anybody else? Okay, then I guess it's break.
All right.
Wonderful.
Enjoy some respite from me. Right. Well, now we get to get into the juicy, hopeful stuff, which is really the main point of why I'm here. There we go. Okay, so 3 keys to cultivating a life that lights you up right now. The very first thing is to meet yourself, become reacquainted with yourself each and every day. I want you to form a relationship with you and to do it daily. You will shift and grow and change forever. So making an effort to get to know and check in with today's self is paramount. One of those ways is by connecting with your body. One way is through movement, stretching, a walk in nature, if you're into strength training or any other exercise, dancing it out, yoga, putting your feet in the grass, anything where you are connecting your body with your mind.
Can I ask a question?
Uh-huh.
Does massage therapy come in to connecting with your body?
I mean, do you feel it does?
Well, I got a call yesterday by a massage therapist myself, who I had approached about a month or two ago, and getting that. And he had a lot to say about, massage, being a massage practitioner for 30 years. So I was just wondering, because I do mat Pilates and I've done yoga and I usually do those things. Right now I'm not because of an injury I had. I don't know if that happened. But what I was just wondering what you thought about massage, or pressure touch and all the connections in your body. Do you know about those kinds of things?
Well, I'm not a massage therapist, so I don't know about all of those things. But I
I
would,
mean, how it helps you connect.
I would say anything that connects you to your body, and to me, massage would connect me to my body. Any touch would connect me to my body. And also, I do want to say that yoga, strength training, all these things are wonderful, for endurance and anxiety and endorphins and all of that. But if it's just something we're ticking off the box, then it's not connection. It's just a thing we're doing to say we did it. So if your movement for the day literally is just taking a couple steps in the grass or concrete or whatever, anything to connect yourself with your body is that's I guess the goal. In whatever way feels relevant and resonates with you. It sounds like that.
I always loved Pilates and dance and all. For me, it's a lot of joy, and
There you go. Then that can totally be your thing. Yeah. Another thing is grounding. So also the feet in the grass is great for that. But grounding is great for helping us stay centered amongst overwhelm. And there are various exercises to help with this. One of them is just the 3 deep breaths we did today. Remembering to take a deep breath whenever we're feeling overwhelmed can really do wonders. Focusing on your body, making contact with the surface it's on. Drinking cold water. One that I find really helpful because I'm a very anxious person is this exercise called Where Are Your Feet? So right now, my feet are right here. I'm speaking with you. I don't need to think about what I'm going to do at 11:11 or 11:12, or what I'm going to do when I get home to my crazy children who I love so much. I don't have to have a plan for anything. I'm right here, right now, where I need to be. So I will catch myself when I do get in my head about anything, asking myself, where are your feet? Where are you right now? Connecting with your mind. 2 exercises or 2 practices I find really helpful are meditation and journaling. Meditation, there is an app called Insight Timer. You can, I think it's both for Android and iPhone, completely free to download this app, and you have access to thousands of guided meditations, as well as a timer where you can just choose your background noise and want to hear a book for the ocean or birds, and set a timer for 5, 10, 15, whatever, however many minutes. It's a free, it's accessible. And I think that that's really important because we can't all, buy a package at a studio or whatnot. Journaling, it's definitely not for everyone. But it can be anything. It can be, I'm in the morning or at the night, and in the evening, I'm just going to brain dump everything that I'm thinking. It doesn't have to make any sense. Just the words that are coming out, just dumping them on paper, releasing them from in here and getting them on paper. It can be bullet points. It can be an essay. It can be the beginnings of a novel. It's whatever works for you. I find it really helpful. I try to journal on a daily basis. And one of the practices I have is a win journal, where it is just bullet points, 3 to 5 things that I got right that day. And it could be as simple as I drank water. That's a win. And what I have now is I have one giant notebook in the beginnings of a smaller notebook filled with ways that I won, with things that I did that, and it gives me a boost. All right, connecting with your soul. Also maybe not for everybody, but for those of us that believe in something greater than ourselves, whether it's God, universe, a tree, whatever, connecting with that thing every day can be such a tremendous help to right-sizing all of our problems, because there's so much in this world that we personally cannot control or anticipate, as much as I love to anticipate every outcome of everything. And being able to release that control and let it go to something other than me helps me stay in this moment responsible for what I'm responsible for. One of the things I have clients do is create a God box or a universe box, or a tree box, or a not my problem box. And what they do is if there's something that's ruminating in their head that's just taking up all the space. I had quite a few, my job situation. My older son is neurodivergent, and there were constantly calls from the school. His behavior was my problem, always trying to control it. I put my son in that box more than once. I put, a lot of things in that box, and the practice of physically writing something down and putting it in a box and saying, this isn't mine to handle. Now, does that make it just disappear? No, but it can really bring profound results. It really has helped me to let go. Sometimes I need to put that thing in the box every day, because I put it in and then I like to reel it back. That's my MO. But I find it. And then letting it be fun. Because the idea of, and this was shared earlier, Liana, I think you kind of shared, the idea of taking up that space or finding that time to think about your future sounds arduous. It sounds like something I just cannot do. But what if it gets to be fun? What if it gets to be an exploration? What if I don't know who I am anymore, so I'm lost and I'm never going to find that person and it's over, it turns into, I'm going to get to meet me today. Little by little, piece by piece. You don't have to have it all figured out. You never will. But what can you learn about yourself today? How can you feed yourself a little bit today? One step at a time. Okay, I'm going to something I nerd over all the time. Boundaries. Boundaries are some of the most important things ever. Holding powerful boundaries really allows us to keep what's ours and leave the rest. So now that you have done the work of meeting yourself every day, you know who you are, what it is that's acceptable to you, what's not acceptable to you. Hold yourself accountable for honoring those boundaries, because they do matter. Brene Brown, in one of her million books, has this exercise called deciding who gets the cheap seats versus the VIP seats in your life. And it's a literal drawing of an arena. And there's your VIP seats, your kind of middle of the road seats, and your cheap seats. And what she encourages participants to do is decide your VIP seats really belong to maybe one person, maybe 2 or 3. And the rest belong in that middle of the road or the cheap seats. And those are the people, your VIPs are the people you show the most of yourself. And we get to decide how much we share with others. But they're the people that we really, really unpeel the onion for. And the people whose opinions we take, I'm struggling with the word. we take very seriously their opinions. We appreciate and respect their opinions. And then there are the people who are in our lives and we can love them very much and have a relationship with them, and they belong in the cheap seats. And sometimes mom belongs in the cheap seats. And it can be really hard to put mom in the cheap seats. But if sharing our whole lives with our mother or whoever it is that should be closest to us makes us feel unsafe or isn't a positive experience for us, they get to be booted to the cheap seats. You can still love them and they can still be kept at a distance. We don't all have the right and the privilege of knowing them. Delegating in the office and at home. So really knowing what can be consolidated, what can be streamlined or taken off your plate completely. Can it be handed to a partner, a colleague, a friend? Is there an app? Is there something that can make this easier for you? And then finally, protecting your sacred time and space. Making self-care absolutely non-negotiable. If you need to calendar it, I self-care. Do it. If that's what serves you, do it, but make it a priority to follow that and keep the appointments. And self-care doesn't have to be a mani-pedi. It doesn't have to be a trip to a retreat or a spa day. It can be 15 minutes dancing it out. It can be grounding yourself. It can be making yourself a nourishing meal and sitting in silence. I have these, if you go to my website, I have these thought cards that they're free. And they have 21 exercises, prompts, activities that you can do in under 15 minutes every day. So if you're not feeling inspired or you don't know what to do, feel free to pull from one of those cards. Where do you find that? On my website. It should just pop up. Oh, well, I'll show you. You'll see my website. And I can also email them to you. And last but certainly not least, giving yourself the permission slip to live now. Get clear on whatever it is that is keeping you from postponing your happiness and what it's telling you. One of the things that I do with my clients that are moms is I have them do a mom guilt journal. They take it around for 3 to 5 days and they note every time they're feeling guilty. They know where they were and what they were doing when they felt that way. What they were hearing. I'm not enough, I'm selfish, I'm failing. What was being said? What did it feel like? Right? So that, and I only have them do it for 3 to 5 days because we really don't need to stick in our crap for that long. But in a similar vein, getting really clear on what's coming up for you, what barriers are coming up for you when you want to, take that class, pursue your master's, take some time for you, getting clear on what that voice is saying, what it feels like in your body. Does it feel like, do you feel a tingle in your throat? What does it feel like? So that when it pops up for you, you can see it for what it is. It's just a story. It's not what's real. And then begin infusing your daily, weekly, and monthly life with joy. Again, if you need to schedule it, and then permission to start small. That's the way to really make things sustainable. So even if it's 2 minutes a day, honoring that 2 minutes day in and day out builds a world of resiliency, and you magically find more time. So that 2 minutes can turn into 15 minutes before you know it. And then, this is the death doula in me, make that bucket list. Write it down. What do you want to have accomplished by the end of your life? And what do you want your legacy to be? And start taking them off. Because now is the time. This really is. Why is now the time? Because you're alive. Because you're alive. Because you're alive. I don't know I don't think we have time for this today, but on your workbook, there is or in your workbook, not on it, there is a prompt asking you, what do you want to have completed, experienced, and or achieved before you die? And the reason I think that this is more of a take-home thing than a here thing is because I really want you to dive in. I want you to pour yourself a cup of whatever makes you feel comfortable. It can be alcohol, it can be tea, coffee, water, whatever. Pour it, get comfortable, maybe light a candle, make it a ceremony, make it delicious, and write it out. And then start tackling that list. And that is it. So this is my website is lifeanddeathofkelly.com. So you can grab those cards from that. I can also email them to you. And that's, I guess where to find me. Via email, via Instagram, via Facebook.
Would you like me to hand these out?
Oh, sure. If anyone wants that, yeah.
I just wanted to say that if you could email me your presentation, I can then email it out to these, including the people. who are-
Absolutely, absolutely.
But it-
So, thank you
so
so
much
much.
together.
Yeah, will do. I will email you. Thank you for your time.
So much.
Yes.
Kelly, what was the name of the app for meditation?
Insight Timer. So it's INSIGHT. I encourage you, if you have your phone with you and it's in the back of your mind that it's something you're interested in, download it here. Just do it. Just do it. Get it on there because then you don't have an excuse. It's downloaded.
InsightTimer.com or just.
It's just an app. So if you go in your app store and find Insight Timer, and it'll look like, I believe it's a sound bowl. I mean,
No, it's an app.
it's an app. So it looks like this little brown sound bowl, right there.
Oh, the little bowl.
Yes. Yeah. I have used this for years and I find it an incredibly valuable, accessible tool. So.
And it just gives you music or whatever you want.
Yeah, there are lots of guided meditations, which are beautiful. And then there's just using the timer itself and setting like a 5 to whatever, however much time to just sit and quiet and listen to ambient noise like a book or a video.
Yeah.
It's beautiful. I love it. It's one of my favorites.
It's like this, the site was inside.
It's an app.
Inside the time.
Yeah, I don't know if you can.
There's a website.
Oh, there is. Okay. Okay, so it would be insighttimer.com. You can access them through the website, I guess.
Would you like me to write it for you on your paper? Would you like me to write it for you on your paper? I can only write it here.
Okay. Thank you. And I just want to thank you all for being here and participating in this and letting me have this slice of your day, and thank you. It's been a big honor.
So anyway, let me see, I do have some. Present here.